The justice system is supposed to be a scale, weighing evidence to find truth. But when your accuser is your own wife, and the evidence is a bruise she gave herself, that scale is rigged from the start. They tell you the truth will set you free. They don't tell you what happens when the lie gets a head start. My name is Caleb Vance, and this is how a forgotten dashcam saved my life and delivered justice I never saw coming. 6 months before my world imploded, I was living what I thought was a good life. Not perfect, but solid. I taught AP history at Lincoln High, coached Little League on weekends, and made pancakes every Sunday for my 8-year-old daughter, Aria. She'd always ask for chocolate chips arranged like a smiley face. My wife, Serafina, seemed happy too. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention to the cracks forming in our foundation. The warning signs were there, dressed up as self-improvement. She'd joined CrossFit, started talking constantly about her trainer Jackson. "He really gets me," she'd say, eyes bright with something I mistook for enthusiasm. "That's great, honey," I'd reply, grading papers at our kitchen table. "You know what your problem is, Caleb? You're too comfortable. Some of us want more from life than lesson plans and baseball practice." I should have heard the contempt. Instead, I heard a midlife crisis that would pass. I was wrong. The night she destroyed my life started with a manufactured argument about her journey of self-discovery. I was trying to understand, asking questions. She wanted a fight. "You're suffocating me," she screamed, though I was standing across the room. Then she grabbed our wedding photo and smashed it against the floor. The glass shattered, and suddenly she was cradling her arm, gasping. "You pushed me! Oh God, Caleb, you pushed me!" I hadn't moved. I stood there frozen, watching her transform into someone I'd never seen before. When she called 911, her voice became a symphony of practiced hysteria. The police arrived in minutes. Their eyes changed the moment they saw her cradling her arm, glass around her feet. I tried to explain, but explanations sound like excuses when there's a crying woman with a bruise. The moment that still haunts me, Serafina brought Aria downstairs. "Honey, tell the officers. Did Daddy have that scary look again?" My daughter's confused face crumpled. She nodded, not understanding what she was agreeing to. The handcuffs were cold. As they led me away, I saw Serafina holding Aria, whispering in her ear while staring at me with eyes like winter. Rock Bottom has a zip code. Mine was my brother Griffin's spare room, surrounded by posters from his failed band and boxes of my former life. The restraining order came first, then the unpaid leave from school, my principal's voice dripping with procedural pity. My lawyer spoke in expensive paragraphs that all meant the same thing. Without proof, I was finished. Late at night, staring at Griffin's ceiling, my historian's mind searched for parallels. Was I Dreyfus, falsely accused and exiled? Or was I one of the countless victims of Stalin's show trials, where the verdict preceded the evidence? The Salem witch trials came to mind. Spectral evidence, hysterical accusations, the impossibility of proving a negative. How do you prove you didn't do something when the accuser's tears count more than truth? Griffin tried to be supportive, but living with someone tests even blood bonds. 3 weeks in, over beers and cold pizza, he asked the question I'd been dreading. "Caleb, I need to ask you something." He wouldn't meet my eyes. "And I need you to be straight with me." My stomach dropped. "Ask. Is there anything at all you're not telling me about that night?" The silence stretched between us like a chasm. My own brother, the guy who'd gotten into fistfights defending me in high school, had doubt flickering in his eyes. "You think I did it?" Not a question, a statement. "I don't want to think that. But Sarah's saying things, and Aria's 8 years old and confused." My voice cracked. "Her mother is feeding her lines." Griffin nodded slowly, but the doubt didn't fully leave his eyes. Okay, I believe you. It's just, this is heavy, man. That's when I truly understood how alone I was. The financial humiliation came in waves. First, the call to the bank, trying to secure a loan against my teaching pension. I see you have an excellent credit history, Mr. Vance, the loan officer said. But there's a flag here about ongoing legal proceedings. It's a misunderstanding that's being resolved. I'm sorry, but until that's cleared up, we can't approve any loans. Then came the credit card company. My cards maxed from legal fees. I called to request a payment plan. Can you explain the nature of these charges? The representative asked. Legal fees. I'm going through a difficult divorce. I see there's also a restraining order on file. Word spread even to financial institutions. I was radioactive. The supervised phone calls with Aria were their own special torture. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. sharp, 15 minutes max. Hi, Daddy. Her voice sounded smaller over the phone. Hey, baby girl, how was school? Good. Mrs. Patterson says to... A pause. The supervisor's voice in the background, reminding her about appropriate topics. The conversations were stilted, each word carefully measured. I couldn't ask about her nightmares. Couldn't tell her I loved her without it being noted in a report. Couldn't be her father. Just a voice on a monitored line. 2 months later, I was selling my car to pay legal fees. The 2018 Honda Accord held ghosts. Aria's homework in the glove compartment. A baseball wedged under the seat. Her hair ties around the gear shift. That's when I remembered the Dashcam. I'd installed it 5 years earlier after a fender bender. Forgotten completely until that moment. The memory card was tiny, holding 64 GB of boring commutes and parking lots. Griffin let me use his computer. I scrolled through hours of nothing, desperation growing with each empty file. Then, like finding water in a desert, I heard her voice. The date stamp, 1 day before my arrest. Serafina was driving my car, talking on speakerphone. I'm heading home now. Did you get that thing we talked about? Her voice was casual, but there was an edge to it. Yeah, it's done. Jackson's voice through the speakers. You sure about this? Once we start, we've been over this. I can't do another year of pretending everything's fine. This is the only way. Just make it look convincing, okay? Like we practiced. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Left side, right? Yeah, more natural that way. My hands shook. A good prosecutor could connect these dots. I had her. My lawyer's face changed when he heard the recording, but he tempered my excitement with reality. This is good, Caleb, but I need you to understand, it's not a smoking gun. It's suspicious, yes. The timing is damning, but a good defense attorney could argue they were discussing anything. But the context, I agree, but we need the DA to see it that way. This gets us in the door, but it's not a guarantee. We're betting they'll dig deeper once they hear this. The emergency hearing happened without me. My lawyer called immediately after. The judge was skeptical at first, he said. But the timing, the bruise location matching her left side comment, the reference to making something convincing, Serafina couldn't keep her story straight. First a workout injury, then planning a surprise party. The inconsistencies killed her credibility. The ruling was swift. Restraining order terminated. Charges dropped with prejudice. Temporary custody of Aria to me. But I knew this was just the beginning. Meeting with the DA was nerve-wracking. She listened to the recording twice, taking notes. It's compelling, she finally said. Enough for a warrant. But Mr. Vance, I need you to understand. We might find nothing. Digital forensics can take weeks. Are you prepared for that? I was. What choice did I have? What followed was psychological torture. Every day I'd check my email obsessively, waiting for updates. Once I drove past our old house, Serafina's house now, and saw her car in the driveway. She was living her life while mine hung in limbo. My lawyer became my lifeline, calling with updates that felt both crucial and inadequate. Week 1. The warrant's been served. They have Jackson's devices. Week 2. Forensics is working through everything. These things take time, Caleb. I know it's hard. I'd lie awake calculating how many days of freedom she'd stolen from me versus how many she still enjoyed. Week 3. They found something. Browser history on her laptop. Searches that, well, let's just say they're very specific to your situation. Week 4. The breakthrough. Jackson's lawyer called. He wants to deal. In exchange for lesser charges, Jackson's providing everything. Texts, emails, a timeline. It's not a full confession, but Caleb, we got her. Week 5. The twist. Caleb, you need to hear this. The forensics team found something else. Email drafts from 3 years ago. Similar language, similar plan. A different name. Her ex-boyfriend before you. I did some digging. He left the state after assault charges that were mysteriously dropped. She's done this before. My blood ran cold. I wasn't her first victim, just her most recent. The texts were damning in their banality. Remember what we practiced? Left looks better. She believed it right. Just stick to the story. Once he's arrested, it's over. But the drafted emails from 3 years prior were chilling in their similarity. Make sure the bruise is visible. He grabbed my right arm. Remember that. Once the restraining order is in place, combined with her search history, how to fake a bruise, coaching children testimony, false abuse claims custody, the case was solid. The pattern was clear. Serafina's arrest happened at her CrossFit gym. Jackson was already in custody, his cooperation the final nail. The plea negotiations dragged on. My lawyer explained the DA's position. They want to spare Aria from testifying, but with the pattern of behavior, they're pushing for more than probation. The final agreement: 90 days in county jail, 3 years probation, mandatory therapy, and a permanent record barring her from working with children. The DA couldn't prosecute the earlier case, statute of limitations, but it influenced the sentencing. It's not enough, I said, thinking of her previous victim. It rarely feels like it is, he replied. But she's marked now. That record follows her forever. And Caleb, you stopped her from doing it again. 6 months later, life had found a new rhythm. Serafina was out, working at a call center, living with her mother. We'd sold the house, and Aria and I had our apartment with big windows and growing laughter. That's when Tom Bradley approached me at the grocery store. Caleb, he said, his son hiding behind him. The same son he'd pulled away from me months earlier. I owe you an apology. I waited. When everything came out about what she did, and that she'd done it before, I felt sick. I believed her. Judged you. I'm sorry. I looked at him. This man who'd abandoned me when I needed community most. I understand, I said finally. You were protecting your son. Any father would. His relief was palpable. Thank you. That's more grace than I deserve. Maybe, but holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting others to get sick. I've got better things to do. Like teaching, like raising my daughter, like living. These days, when I teach about justice and history, I see it differently. History isn't just events. It's patterns. The Salem witch trials, the Dreyfus affair, McCarthy's Red Scare. All moments when accusation carried more weight than evidence. But patterns reveal truth. The truth doesn't always win immediately, I tell my students. Sometimes it needs help. Sometimes it needs someone who refuses to let the lie become history. And sometimes The most important evidence is the pattern everyone else missed. One student asked, "Is that why you make us cite everything, Mr. V?" I smiled. Documentation is the difference between history and mythology. Always leave a trail. You never know when it might save someone. Arya's doing better. The nightmares faded. The supervised calls became bedtime stories. The confusion gave way to understanding, appropriate for her age. "Dad," she asked recently, after her therapist explained in simple terms what happened. "Will Mom do it again? To someone else?" "No, baby, she can't. Everyone knows now. Because of the Dashcam. Because the truth came out. The Dashcam just helped it along." She nodded, processing with the wisdom of a child who's learned too early that parents aren't perfect. "I'm glad you record everything now." "So am I. The Dashcam still runs in my car. Every boring commute, every ordinary day, recorded and stored. Not from paranoia, but from wisdom. Because I've learned that the most ordinary moments can become evidence of extraordinary truth. And somewhere out there, Serafina's first victim is living his life, probably never knowing that someone finally stopped her pattern. I tried to find him, to let him know he wasn't crazy, that it wasn't his fault. But he disappeared completely, the way falsely accused men sometimes do. Justice came in paperwork and plea deals, not grand jury rooms and dramatic trials. It came in small victories. Arya laughing again, my job restored. The simple freedom to pick up my daughter from school without supervision. But mostly it came in the knowledge that a pattern was broken. That my daughter wouldn't grow up learning that false accusations were tools to be used. That documentation and truth, however delayed, could still prevail. The investigation that felt eternal took 5 weeks. The recovery continues. But every Sunday, over chocolate chip pancakes, I see progress in my daughter's smile. Real smiles now, not the careful ones from those supervised calls. My grandfather's saying proved true. Time reveals everything. Sometimes it just needs help from a Dashcam, a good lawyer, and investigators willing to look for patterns. I still teach history, but now I teach it knowing I've lived it. Been both victim and victor, watched lies become truth until actual truth intervened. I've learned that documentation isn't just academic best practice. It's protection against those who would rewrite reality. And on quiet evenings, when Arya's doing homework and I'm grading papers, I sometimes think about Serafina's first victim. I hope he's healed. I hope he knows, somehow, that the pattern has been broken. That's not revenge. That's just truth, served at the proper temperature, with a side of legal precedent and the knowledge that patterns, once exposed, lose their power. And chocolate chip smiles on Sunday mornings. The rest, as they say, is history. Documented, verified, and protected by a simple Dashcam that captured the truth. Because in the end, that's all any of us can do. Live honestly, document carefully, and trust that patterns of deception eventually reveal themselves. Even if it takes a forgotten memory card to start the revelation.